The words still echo in my mind like thunder on a quiet night. Don't complain. This is all you're worth. He said it with that smirk, the one that used to melt me, but this time it sliced straight through my soul. I stood there in our beautiful kitchen, the same kitchen I had decorated with love, the same place where I'd cooked 1,000 dinners just to see him smile. My hands trembled around the plate I was holding. I couldn't speak. All I could do was stare at the man I had given everything to for 10 long years. My name is Emily, and this is the story I never thought I'd have the courage to tell. Ryan and I met when we were barely 20, two kids with big dreams and empty pockets. I worked double shifts at a little cafe so he could finish engineering school. I believed in him so completely that when our daughter Lily came along, I happily stepped away from my own plans to teach. "We'll do this together," he whispered on our wedding night, kissing my forehead like I was his whole world. I believed him. For years, our life looked perfect from the outside. The big house, the vacations, the photos of us smiling on social media. But behind the smiles, I was slowly disappearing. Ryan's late nights at the office became normal. His compliments turned into criticism. I told myself it was stress, that if I just loved him harder, he would come back to me. I ignored the perfume on his shirts. I swallowed the loneliness when he barely looked at me across the dinner table. That night, I had finally found the courage to speak. Lily was asleep upstairs. I had made his favorite pasta, lit candles, and gently said, "Ryan, Lily's older now. I'd like to go back to school part-time, finish my teaching degree. I missed feeling like I have something of my own." He set his fork down slowly. The smirk appeared, cold, almost amused. "Don't complain," he said, voice low and cutting. "This is all you're worth. A housewife, nothing more." My world cracked right there. I felt exposed, small, worthless. But what I didn't know that night was that his words were only the beginning. The real betrayal was already unfolding in the shadows, waiting to destroy everything I thought I knew about us. The days after that moment blurred into a fog of pain. I kept replaying his smirk, his voice, the way he said it so casually, like he had been thinking it for years. I tried to pretend everything was fine for Lily's sake, but inside, I was shattered. Every time his phone lit up, my stomach twisted. I started noticing things I had forced myself to ignore: deleted messages, hotel charges on the credit card, the way he smiled at his phone when he thought I wasn't looking. I confronted him one rainy evening. "Ryan, are you seeing someone?" My voice barely held together. He laughed, actually laughed, and turned it all back on me. "You're being paranoid again, Emily. If you were more exciting, maybe I wouldn't feel so trapped." His words landed like stones. I felt broken in a way I can't even describe. I questioned every choice I had ever made for our family. Had I really become nothing? Then came the day that ripped my heart out completely. I decided to surprise him at the office with lunch, his favorite sandwiches, and the cookies Lily helped me bake. The receptionist gave me a strange look when I walked past, but I smiled and kept going. I pushed open the conference room door, and there they were. Ryan and his young assistant, Sarah, tangled together against the table, her hands in his hair, his mouth on her neck. The bag slipped from my fingers. The sound of it hitting the floor made them jump apart. Ryan's face wasn't shocked or sorry. It was irritated. "What are you doing here?" he snapped. Sarah looked away, fixing her blouse. I couldn't breathe. I just stood there, tears burning down my cheeks. He didn't even try to explain. Instead, he said, "This is exactly why I told you the truth the other night. You're not enough anymore. Sarah makes me feel alive. Pack your things when you get home. I'm done pretending." I drove home in silence, picked up Lily from school, and told her we were going on a little adventure. That night, we slept in a cheap motel because I couldn't face our house. The next morning, he changed the locks. He froze our joint accounts. He told our friends I was unstable and that he had been carrying me for years. I had no job, no savings, nothing but a suitcase and my daughter's hand in mine. The man I had supported through every late night, every sacrifice, threw me away like I was nothing. I cried for weeks. I lay on the thin mattress in our tiny one-bedroom apartment and wondered if he was right, if this really was all I was worth. The pain was so deep, I felt it in my bones. But somewhere in the middle of that darkness, a quiet fire started to burn. I looked at Lily sleeping beside me and whispered, "We're going to be okay, baby." For the first time in years, I felt something besides sadness. I felt determination. I was done being the woman he broke. I was ready to become the woman who rose. The revenge didn't come with shouting or revenge plots you see in movies. It came quietly, powerfully, and with a twist no one, especially Ryan, saw coming. 5 years earlier, my grandmother had left me a quiet inheritance. I never told Ryan. I wanted him to feel like the strong provider, the hero of our story. So I invested every penny wisely and started a small online shop from our kitchen table. Handmade jewelry and home decor I designed myself. He used to roll his eyes and call it your little hobby. While he was busy chasing promotions and secret nights with Sarah, that little hobby quietly grew into a thriving business worth millions. I had also used part of the inheritance to buy shares in his company through a silent investment group. I owned enough to matter. When the divorce papers arrived, Ryan demanded the house, the cars, everything, claiming I had contributed nothing. In court, my lawyer laid it all out: bank records, investment statements, company filings. Ryan's face went white as the judge reviewed the evidence. The man who had called me worthless suddenly realized I had been the one holding our entire world together in secret. The judge granted me the house, full custody of Lily, and a settlement that left him stunned. But the real moment came 2 months later at the company's annual gala. Ryan was supposed to be named partner, the crowning achievement of his career. I walked in wearing a deep emerald dress, my hair soft and my head high. The room fell quiet when people recognized me. Ryan's eyes widened in shock. I stepped onto the stage during the presentation and calmly revealed the truth. The most successful campaign his team had ever launched, the one that got him his last big promotion, had been my concept. I had fed him the idea over dinner one night and he had passed it off as his own. Then I showed the board the proof that he had been using company resources for personal trips with Sarah. The board didn't hesitate. They fired him on the spot. Sarah, seeing the man she thought was going places suddenly stripped of everything, walked out without a backward glance. Ryan stood there alone, humiliated in front of everyone he had tried to impress. Later that night, he showed up at the house that was now mine, eyes red, voice shaking. "Emily, I made a mistake. Please." I looked at him the same way he once looked at me and said softly, "Don't complain, Ryan. This is all you're worth now." I closed the door and never looked back. Today, Lily and I live in the home we always deserved. My business is flourishing, and I just signed a book deal. Our real story turned into a tale of quiet strength. The greatest revenge wasn't destroying him. It was becoming the woman I was always meant to be. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you. No one gets to decide your worth. Not a cruel word, not a smirk, not even the person you once loved more than life itself. When someone tries to break you, let that pain forge you into someone unbreakable. Rise quietly, rise completely, and when you do, the peace you find will be the sweetest victory of all. You are worth so much more than they ever saw. Always remember that.